do have a great job. I get to tell a fun story, and so anytime I have an opportunity to talk to folks like yourself here in the room, I definitely look forward to it. So I do know that just about everybody sitting in this room, considers themselves a visionary. But if in 1999 you were asked to describe the Roanoke region to someone, what would you have said? What would you have said our strengths are? Would you have talked about the railroad, or the Virginia's Blue Ridge and the mountains? Would you have said we're a great place to retire? Or would you have said that we're home to one of the world's toughest marathons? Would you have seen us making the USA Today's 10 best bike-friendly cities list? Would you have seen the miles of greenways that we have? Or the 4 blue wave water trails spanning the entire region? In 1999, according to the New Century report, the communities we compared ourselves to, who we benchmarked ourselves to, were Rust Belt cities like Akron, Allentown, and Gary, Indiana. Now we're comparing ourselves to leading-edge southern growth metros like Asheville, Chattanooga, and Greenville. In 1999, if we'd stopped 10 people on the street and asked them, what makes the Roanoke region so great? Maybe one or two, the visionaries sitting out here, would have mentioned the mountains, the rivers, the lakes, the pure beauty of where we live. But today, if we stop 10 people on the street and we ask them, the same question, we guarantee 9 out of 10, if not all 10, are going to reference the natural beauty in some shape or form. We've got this mountain metro mix thing going on, and it's really starting to work. We've been able to marry our strong outdoor offerings, with incredible music, dining, and nightlife. There aren't too many places, and I've definitely traveled around the U.S. and around the world, but there aren't too many places where you can be hiking the Appalachian Trail in the morning. Actually, there's only one place where you can be doing this. It's here. Hiking the Appalachian Trail in the morning, paddling the James River in the afternoon, and listening to a national music act in the evening. Our community narrative has really changed. It's changed from one that plays to our strengths to one that places a high value on the quality of life and with an emphasis on the outdoors. Your idea of camping may be staying at a Holiday Inn. You could care less about going outdoors, but you get it. It understands. You understand it's everywhere you look here in the region. One undeniable indicator is the roof rack ratio theory. So this is real, scientifically proven. So the next time you're driving around, pay attention to the number of vehicles with roof racks. There are way more roof racks today than there were in 1999, and that's really an undeniable sign that our community is engaged with the outdoors. So how did we get here? How did we reach a point where the outdoors is part of who we are as a community? Where we're no longer building the outdoor brand is beginning to build Roanoke in the region. I think the simplest explanation is that we started conversations. When I first joined the partnership, I spent 2 months talking to user groups, outdoor user groups, and I like to use the analogy of a pie. I was asking all these user groups what was working, what wasn't, what needs to happen. And there's all these people that were doing phenomenal things with their little piece of the pie. All these, the people that have been working on the greenways, doing a tremendous job with that, building trails, the fishing community, the biking community, the hiking community. But there wasn't great communication between all those user groups. And so a lot of our effort has been spent connecting those user groups, sharing ideas between all those user groups. So there we were. We knew that we wanted to use our natural assets to attract talent and investment, but we weren't exactly sure how to go about doing it. But we did know that in order for our outdoor brand development to sustain itself, it had to be real. Our community had to believe it. They had to breathe it. And they had to, in turn, become our biggest advocates and our ambassadors. So our goal has been to create a climate that increases awareness of the benefits of the outdoors and creates opportunities for businesses. So this is the format we've been using to develop the region's outdoor brand. But as Beth likes to say, we're building the planes we fly. So it's an ever-evolving process. We use this formula to start conversations, plant seeds, open eyes, connect user groups, and begin a community dialogue centered around the outdoors. So the first thing we did was inventory our assets, and we put that into RoanokeOutside.com, which we needed a platform from which to tell our story. We also needed to be a community resource so that people could become more engaged with the outdoors. Prior to us starting this, it was hard to find the information. It was hard to find out where all the trailheads were, how to get to them, where you could go to rent canoes, where you could go rent kayaks and different things like that. So That's how this has become a really great community asset. We also use it, and we do a lot of Google AdWords outside of the region, targeting the business community that communities that we're trying to attract to the area. And so it's a great resource so that somebody is out there looking for, East Coast communities, with the great outdoor, outdoor recreational opportunities. We're going to pop up in their search results, and they're going to learn more about Roanoke in the process. Because lots of times when you're talking with businesses and site consultants, sometimes you're ruled out before you even know you're being considered because they're doing all the research online. So it's really important for us to have that web presence. We're also constantly identifying gaps. And so by gaps, what we mean are things that are prohibiting us from delivering that outdoor brand. So we're trying to find ways to improve accessibility, increase user friendliness, and create opportunities along the process. So we've hosted how to start outdoor business workshops. We had an interactive kiosk, an awareness building kiosk that's been in the airport, it's been in Hotel Roanoke, and now it's in downtown in the city market building. It kind of rotates around. We put out outdoor recreation guidebooks that we've given to the hotel so that if a guest comes up and says, where can I rent bikes or where can I go for a hike, they have those resources to be able to answer those questions. And then we've helped different businesses get started at. Greenway bicycle rental businesses, there's 2 Greenway bicycle rental businesses that we helped get started. And also it's really important for us to build the local support. And as I said, in order for this to sustain itself, we need everybody here in the audience, to be our ambassadors. We need our residents to be our ambassadors. They need, you guys are traveling, people travel. When people ask you, where you're from, and you say Roanoke, and they say, what's it like there? The outdoor story is part of that narrative, and we want you guys to be kind of educated and be well informed to be able to tell that story. So we do different things to create these ambassadors. We do a weekly newsletter that goes to about 12,000 people locally, as well as a tremendous amount of people nationally. We're surprised at the number of national people that subscribe to our newsletter. It comes out every week. We highlight ideas, advocacy issues, we profile clubs, different organizations, featured hikes, really trying to, again, educate people on what's right here in their backyard. And then we do different events. We call them brand building events. And we do them for a couple different reasons. Really, it provides something for our residents to get involved. But then also, we use it as part of our image building when we're promoting Roanoke in the region outside of the area. So things like the Blue Ridge Marathon, the Go Outside Festival. And, but all of this has led to Roanoke being genuinely known as an outdoor town. And these are just a few of the media mentions we've gotten as a result of some of our initiatives. For the past few years, I've attended the largest outdoor manufacturer gathering in the world. It takes place in Salt Lake City. That's actually where we met, where I made first introduction with backcountry.com. We were able to work with them to get them to set up their East Coast location. When I first started going to this show, pretty much nobody had heard of Roanoke. Most outdoor manufacturers are West Coast based, but they really had never heard of Roanoke. And if they had, and I'm not kidding you, I know you've heard this, but I'm telling you firsthand, Scout's honor, that they thought we were either a suburb of DC or with the Lost Island. I'm not joking. But now when I go to the show, that's not the case. It truly isn't. Our reputation is one of a newly discovered outdoor mecca now. And people are intrigued by it, and they want to know our story, and they're learning more. So we're getting on all these radars because of our unique story. So why are we investing in the outdoors? Well, first, it's a $646 billion industry that employs 1 out of 20 people. And on a national level, it generates $80 billion in annual state and tax revenue. And in Virginia, that translates to about $13.6 billion in consumer spending, 138,000 jobs, and $923 million in state and local tax revenue. But there is more. Just about everyone, well, at least 3 out of 4 Americans engage in outdoor recreation, and that number continues to increase. Investing in improving in outdoor infrastructure is relatively cheap, and it has long-lasting benefits. In 50 years, which are people going to be more grateful for? Our blueways and our greenways, or the new Chick-fil-A? Don't get me wrong, I like Chick-fil-A, but I like our connection to the outdoors better. And so it has a much more long-lasting impression it leaves on our community. The Blue Ridge Marathon has had $2.1 million in direct economic impact, and countless national media mentions that have helped develop our reputation as a great outdoor destination. We're Virginia's Blue Ridge, and the outdoors is who we are. So let's continue our efforts to use our natural assets to attract tourists and their dollars. Being an outdoor community makes us more healthy and active, and it lowers healthcare costs. show of hands, just who just feels better after you spent a couple hours outside, whether it's on the greenway, hiking, biking, or floating down the river. All right, there is a strong correlation between time spent outdoors and overall happiness. Basically, the more you're outside, the happier and healthier you are. And that comes into play a little later when I start talking about the Night Soul of Community study. So the outdoors and the associated quality of life makes it easier to attract talent, businesses, investment, and entrepreneurs, all of which are attracted to communities with that adventurous spirit of life that we have going on here. So in stepping back, and looking at how our outdoor brand has been developing and evolving, it dawned on me that what we've been able to do is give our community a sales pitch. The outdoors is now used to help sell our area. Just ask HR departments that are now using the outdoor story to successfully help recruit employees to the area. There's lots of them who are doing it, and they're really seeing the benefits of that. It's resonating with them. Quality of life, it matters. It's more important to companies nowadays than ever before, and it's something that makes us stand out when we're talking to these different companies. It distinguishes us from other communities. So just yesterday, I took a German prospect company for a bike ride on the Greenway. So it's a good example of how we're using the outdoors in our traditional economic attraction program. The company's business model has absolutely nothing to do with the outdoors, but it was important for their employee culture. They wanted to know about the quality of life their employees were going to experience if they located here. So as we developed our outdoor brand, our community narrative shifted to one that really does emphasize the outdoors. And by fostering awareness of what the outdoors can do for our community, we've opened eyes to how the outdoors can benefit us, and we've created a platform from which anyone can leverage the outdoors to their benefit. Last week I was driving down Electric Road and I saw this billboard, and I had to stop and get a photo of it. I thought it was pretty neat to see that. And I've seen this photo as well as other outdoor photos being used in healthcare ads, bank ads, credit cards, debit card pictures. And so to see our business community using the outdoors to connect with the community is something that's, for me, it's really fun to see. So as I said earlier, so now instead of us building the outdoor brand is now beginning to build Roanoke. It's the ripple effect, or my coin here, triple down outdoor economics. So we wanted to share some of the things that have happened as a result of the region embracing the outdoor brand. We're by no means taking direct credit for these, but we do feel the conversations we've started, the seeds we've planted, and the climate we've created have been a catalyst for making things happen. 10 new outdoor businesses have opened their doors, and employment in the outdoor sector has grown 7.4% since 2010, while on a state level it's been a decline of 8.4%. And on the national level, it's only a 4% increase. So we're exceeding the national level in that category. We even have a new outdoor business that's opening in early 2015. So there's a lot of change taking place and a lot of businesses that are opening up. The greenways are definitely one of the greatest things that happened to our area, the greenways. I refer to them as gateway resources because anybody can get out on the greenway. It doesn't cost you anything to start walking on them. Next thing you know, you're meeting your friends weekly for walking, and then maybe you're jogging, and maybe you're renting a bike, and maybe you're hiking a McAfee Knob, and you're paddling down the James River. It just leads to other things, and that's why gateway resources are so important. And the unique thing about our greenways is clearly the community likes them because it was the #1 thing to be requested and it's fully funded by the RTSP program. So the community wants more greenways, and it's neat to see the community supporting that and building more greenways. The Bridges project, we approached them, talked to them about putting a river access point in there when they started that project. We say, great opportunity to embrace the river and connect your development to the river. And so with the city and the bridges and all that, that's slowly becoming a reality if we get the Army Corps engineer to approve all the permits, which looks like it will. The climbing gym and the River Rock climbing gym and the River House, that development was coming along. We saw an opportunity. We knew that there was a need for a climbing gym in the area. We worked with that developer to show that demand. We demonstrated there was a demand for that the developer put it in, and all indications it's exceeding their projections. Beer. I'm not sure why. Well, that's not true. I do know why. But beer just seems to align with our outdoor brand. And now we have lots of beer-related events that are popping up, such as pub runs, and local brewery tours that are popping up. And then and the partnership has been involved with a lot of brewery projects as well. So when we're talking to breweries or when we're talking to different companies, the beer just seems to resonate. So the city is a bronze level bicycle-friendly community, and several local businesses, including the partnership, have also received this designation. And more businesses are looking to get on board. So I encourage you, if you have a business, to seek this designation. It really just shows that you're really committed to making a bicycle-friendly workplace. Trails, we have more than 600 miles of trails in our metro area, 1,000 miles of trails within a 60-mile radius. So we have a lot of trails. All these trails are built and maintained by volunteers, and there's different organizations that are authorized to build those, and they're doing phenomenal jobs with it. And they're continually adding miles to the trails. There's 3 more miles that's getting ready to be added to Mill Mountain in the next year or so. More miles are going out of Carbons Cove. Botetourt County is working on it, just like they have the Upper James River Water Trail, they're working on a trail, tourism trail as well. And the city has hired a trail specialist. So they actually hired somebody to focus on kind of managing all these trails and the building and the maintaining of those trails. The Roanoke sock. Yep, did you know we have a sock named after Roanoke? This is a cool story because Farm to Feet is an all US made merino-based wool. Even the merino wool comes from the US. And they named their new running series sock the Roanoke because of the outdoor brand that we've been developing here. They saw that and they wanted to use it as part of their campaign. The sock doesn't come out until February, and the packaging is going to feature the Blue Ridge Marathon as well as some stuff that Roanoke Outside has been doing. So we're excited to see that. Back to our gaps, we identify opportunities and then we decide if we can take them on or not. And we try to get other people to do them, but if they can't do it, then we decide if we want to. So we always had an idea for a quarterly print publication, focused on the outdoors, and now with Leisure Media 360, there's going to be a new magazine coming out towards the end of September, focused on the local outdoor culture and outdoor lifestyle and the things that are going on here. So we're excited to see that happen as well. So I want to do a little case study, on how the sport of running and the ripple effect has affected our community. So the marathon, the Blue Ridge Marathon, it put Roanoke on the map when it comes to running. It gave both runners and non-runners a goal, to support their hometown race, but also to say that they completed America's toughest road marathon. I really continue to be amazed at the number of non-runners, local non-runners that sign up to be able to run this race without ever running a marathon in their life because they want to say they were part of it, because they want to support it. And so that's been pretty neat to see happen. Fleet Feet Sports now provides training programs for runners ranging from couch to 5K programs to half marathons to even the full marathon. And these programs, they have training programs happening weekly with hundreds of participants. So the number of weekly running programs continues to increase. There's a group called We Run Roanoke, which just meets at different places and they run, just kind of a really informal group. Body by Parkway Brewing. So if you've ever thought that you need to get into running, but you like beer, this is a great opportunity for you. Because you run and then you're rewarded with beer at the end. So that's another thing. And then there's weekly pub runs as well that take place throughout the area. So as a result, Fleet Feet Sports, they continue their efforts to engage the community in a healthy, active lifestyle and not just expect people to make a purchase every time they engage with them. Fleet Feet Sports was named the Roanoke Regional Chamber of Commerce Small Business of the Year 2012, and they were recently recognized as a top 50 running store in America because of the unique things that they're doing to engage their consumers. And as I said earlier, the national sock manufacturer has really taken notice of the stuff that we have going on in our running culture. And they also are a sponsor of the Blue Ridge Marathon, and everybody that runs the marathon gets a free pair of socks. So I can sign you up on your way out. So we can do these case studies for just about every outdoor recreation opportunity out there. But one of the key takeaways is that the outdoors provides opportunities for community engagement. So, and I mentioned it earlier, but if you've ever read the Night Soul of Community study, you've seen that there's 3 key indicators that determine the stickiness of a community. And by stickiness, we mean how attached a person is to the community, how proud they are of where they come from and where they live, and how this translates into economic growth. So those 3 main indicators are openness, how welcoming of a community, how welcoming a community is to different people, aesthetics, the sheer beauty and the green spaces of where you are, and the social offerings, opportunities for social interaction and citizen caring. The 3-year study compared residents' attachment level to the GDP growth in 26 communities over the course of 5 years, and the findings showed a significant correlation between community attachment and economic growth. The more people like their community, the more economic growth that community experiences. And so by making the outdoors a top priority for our region, we're able to hit on 2 out of 3 of these targets. But it cannot be a build it and set it aside and they will come proposition. Intentionality really does matter. So we have to continue to invest in improving the outdoor infrastructure, improving access, and increasing ways to activate the outdoor experience. There's no telling what the Roanoke region is going to look like in 10 years if we continue down this path. Roanoke is currently a bronze level bicycle-friendly city. Will we be a platinum level city? Bicycling and walking infrastructure are becoming more important to companies nowadays. And a strong bicycling infrastructure is one of Google's main criteria when choosing their next location. If you don't have a great cycling infrastructure, you're kind of really off their list. And kayak parks are becoming really commonplace out west, but there are very few on the east, and there's none in Virginia. Will our region be home to the first kayak park? Will we have an outdoor attraction that puts Virginia's Blue Ridge on the outdoors map? Charlotte has the U.S. Whitewater Center. Why can't we have Virginia's Cycling Center? Will outdoor and environmental education be a part of our children's school curriculum? Boulder, Colorado is consistently voted most fit city. Will we make that list? Will our obesity rates continue to drop, making us a more attractive community to businesses who more and more, they care about the healthcare costs and the health rates, the exercise rates, the obesity rates, the smoking rates. That comes into play more and more. Will we continue to improve in those categories? So early next year, the date hasn't been set. We're still working on the lineup. We'll be hosting a half-day outdoor conference that will feature speakers from around the U.S. who have implemented projects and initiatives centered around the outdoors in their own communities. So it's a great opportunity for us to see what these other communities have done and what they are doing. And hopefully we'll walk away with some good ideas for our area. Last year, the Roanoke Outside Foundation was formed as another tool to help us continue the development of the region's outdoor brand and to separate some of the less traditional economic development initiatives like the Blue Ridge Marathon and the Go Outside Festival from the partnership's traditional business attraction program. All right. Thank you. Have a great day.